Year award with the Porter Wagner Show. I said, yeah, we rode in with a tall Shanghai rooster and an old yeller dog down to that one. But it's always great to be honored in any way and to get prestigious things like the Woodrow Wilson Award, because he was very big, as you know. He was very generous and very big on, scholarships and just, really he was actually, they say, our first president, the only president with a PhD. And he wrote 9 books, so he was a writer also. So I think they kind of tied that in with the work we do with the Imagination Library and the work with education. So I'm very proud and very honored to get any award. It's like maybe I've had a bunch, but I hope to get a bunch more.
Well, I just took a moment reading through the bio, but I have never seen, I think you've had virtually every award there is, and I think it's because you love what you're doing. And, you exemplify what every songwriter would dream of being, someone who loves what they do and who writes for the world. You don't just write for one artist or for one area. You write songs that can be heard all around the world. And my goodness sakes, I Will Always Love You is probably the all-time biggest standard probably to come out of this town.
Well, it's an honor. I write because it's what I feel, and I think that just goes to show you that a song could be taken and be done any which way, because I didn't really think when I wrote it was just a very simple emotional song to me, but then how people can take a song that you hope is good, a simple song especially like that, and how they arrange it. So that's what's great about being a songwriter. You never know who's going to find them, how they're going to do them, but if the song is good and stands on its own, simple as it might be, people can take it and turn it into what they need it to be. So I write for me, and I write for anybody that can feel it and that wants to take it and make it whatever, if it touches their story, their lives in any way. That's what makes it good. And great producers and people
to go number one with your own record, and then to have Whitney Houston go number one years later, and then come back and do a duet with Vince, and have it go number one again.
I wore that song out.
You will never wear it out. You will never wear it out. But because you're such an enormous success as an artist, a lot of people don't realize the incredible contribution you've made to the songwriting industry, and of course everybody in Nashville knows it, and everybody who has a brain knows it. But it is so wonderful that you are supporting this Hall of Fame, because you exemplify what everybody would dream of being, which is a great writer, a great artist, and someone who gives back to the community and loves what you're doing. And it is so thoughtful of you to take your time today and be here to dedicate this. Upstairs is going to be, they're building an enormous hall upstairs. Roger Murr is here.
Yeah, Roger, thank you for everything too.
And I want to acknowledge that Harold Bradley is here. We've got some pictures. The Quonset hut is in. Where's Harold? Is he here?
We've been working together for so long.
Well, Harold,
it was good to see him.
Did you play? Did you play on Coda Mini? No. Oh, Bob Ferguson produced that, didn't he?
Well, I worked with Porter.
Porter on that one. Who produced that?
Well, Bob and Porter.
Bob Ferguson and Porter produced. So that's the only record I found that RCA Studio B did that you didn't play on. That
you didn't need me.
Oh.
He was probably booked on somebody else's session, but it was great to see. I've seen a lot of, it's like old home week looking around some of these.
Well, we were trying to figure out if, the Quonset hut's here, and inside here, and we're refurbishing it, and we're trying to figure out if you ever, we know you did the first Blonde record at Monument Studios, and we know that obviously that you recorded Coda Mini Colors and all those great records at RCA.
Studio B, a lot of them. I worked in Studio A
and Quonset hut?
I don't recall if I did or not. I just remember Studio A and Studio B.
Studio
but it's possible.
Studio B was Quonset hut.
Oh, well then I did work there more than anywhere else.
Yeah. You mean Studio B, RCA?
RCA. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
Don't put me on the spot. I thought we were at RCA.
This is what happens when...
Yeah, I don't know. When you've done as much as I have, I've sung everywhere. I've probably been in every building, every studio.
She probably only had 50 hits at RCA Studio B.
Yeah,
probably at least 50 hits there.
Yeah, and all the stuff that I did, like you say, well, I've been everywhere. I've been all around. I did a record on Decca. I was with Sony for a little while, and of course RCA. I was there for 22 years.
And then Monument.
That was my first. And Mercury, I did my first record with Mercury with Buddy Killen, who produced a record on me. It didn't do anything, but it was a good start.
And Buddy did you do something on Decca?
I did one. Well, actually, my first song as a songwriter was the BMI Song of the Year in 1966, 2 years after I came here. I moved here in '64, and it was a song called "Put It Off Until Tomorrow." You've hurt me enough today. Bill Phillips had a record on Decca, and I sang the harmony, and they didn't have my name on it as a singer, just as a writer. My uncle Bill Owens and I wrote the song, and people were calling the radio station. Fred Foster at that time on Monument was trying to record me rock and rockabilly, kind of pop, but everybody was saying, "Who's the girl singing on Put It Off Till Tomorrow?" So that's how I got to go to Fred and say, "See, they do want to hear me do country." So then it was right after that we did Dumb Blonde. Yeah, and had
and that would have been at
Monument. That was my first top 10 record on Monument Records. Blue Eye is my own label. Still have that. Have a new label now called Dolly Records. That's what my new CD is on.
Oh, wow. My goodness.
So, anyway, hey, listen, you were bragging on me, and I appreciate it. It always sounds good, but I just wanted to say, a lot of times people come from different parts of the country, and they just try to move in on us, and, think they're just going to come in, and we don't know what we're doing, and try to take over. But honestly, I appreciate you because you came to town, and you really brought lots of good stuff. You've really helped us, and you've done so many wonderful things, so I just wanted to share this with you. So, thank you for everything.
Forever now?
It's true.
Well,
so
why
what
don't
we need to
shall
do
we now bring up, what I want to do is bring up the president of Belmont, where our Curb College is, and because we're announcing today the songwriter program. We're actually going to have a degree in songwriting, and I wanted to bring up the president of Belmont University, Bob Fisher, who is just an incredible individual. If you've seen the growth in Belmont in the last 8 years since he's been there, it's just unbelievable. And you were talking about people being transplanted to Nashville. Nashville got very lucky when Bob Fisher came to town. We call him Bob the Builder because you look at Belmont, you almost can't recognize it.
It's true.
He's just amazing. And now to add the Songwriters program, would you come on up and
Thank you so much. I have to tell you, part of the reason I came to Belmont was during this process of learning about Belmont. Someone was telling me about a graduation that went on once over at Belmont Heights Church, I believe it was, and somebody, a young woman walks across the stage and gets her degree, and then Dolly stands up and cheers.
Oh, that's my
with
niece.
your niece,
yeah.
And I said, wow, I think that's where I ought to be. And so, but Belmont has such a rich tradition in the music business. Bob Malloy, what a wonderful leader he was along the way for this, and what a visionary he was. And I just wish Bob could be here today to see where all this has led us. But along the way, Bob Malloy found a friend in Mike Curb, and Mike's made an incredible difference at Belmont. We have, I think we may be renaming the whole university. We have the Curb Event Center, we have the Curb Cafe, we have the Curb offices. We have Ocean Way Studio as a result of Mike's generosity. We have a partnership with the Country Music Hall of Fame at RCA Studio B, and now another wonderful partnership with the Songwriters Hall of Fame here in this spot.